What's up, everybody? I know y'all probably been thinking like, why GreedHD ain't been uploading. Well, guess what? I'm back now, and my school semester is over with, and I can upload. Since I'm on my little summer, you dig? I can upload and everything for y'all. But I'm gonna leave what I'm about to talk about after the intro. So I'm gonna let the intro play, and I'll get back to y'all. As y'all can see from the title and the title of this video and the thumbnail, this video is a bit different and is going to be handled a bit differently that I do my other videos. This isn't no fighting game video. This isn't like nothing like that of the sorts. It's just me talking about the MCU and what they could potentially do with it, and my 3 theories on what they could do with Spider-Man. Now, I would speak about other heroes, but I don't really know much about those heroes in particular to, give y'all a really good explanation on them, because I just, I don't want to say the wrong thing and then, piss people off. Or I honestly really don't care, but I just don't want to say the wrong thing and sound dumb. That's basically what it is. But when it comes to Spider-Man, I can talk to y'all about that because they have a lot of potential with this character, and since the events that happened in Endgame, since that happened, I think that they could do a lot with Peter and how he's gonna grow. Now, in the Far From Home trailer, the new Far From Home trailer, the multiverse got introduced. Nick Fury talks about it, and Mysterio's also there, and he claims that he's from a different multiverse. Now, we don't know if we should necessarily believe Mysterio yet. The movie hasn't came out yet, but some people are on the side of believing that he's telling the truth, and some people are on the side of, this nigga lying. But personally, I'm really neutral about the situation, because I'm honestly just excited to see the movie and see the direction that Marvel or the MCU takes with Spider-Man and the whole multiverse theory. Now, my 3 theories about the whole multiverse, one of them doesn't even really consist of the multiverse at all. But my 3 theories are like something that they could just do with Spider-Man's character in general. One of them being probably the one that everybody's thinking about, the one that everybody's talking about, is Miles being introduced into the multiverse. Into the MCU. Now, that could potentially happen, and him and Peter could be on their own little adventure and have their own movies and whatnot. I think that would be a really cool thing to see, and I hope they grab a great actor that could play Miles. I would actually like to see it. That was just one theory that, a lot of people have said and a lot of people have thrown out there, and I've just seen it a lot, so I thought I should just mention it. Okay, now, the second theory is something I personally thought about on my own. I haven't really necessarily seen anybody talk about this, but I feel like Dr. Octopus should be introduced and he should get 3 movies. Now, this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the multiverse. He can honestly be introduced now. It doesn't necessarily require, it's not a multiverse situation for him. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So, I personally think that it would be pretty cool to introduce Dr. Octopus, because he could bring a lot to the table, and they could do a lot with his character that I feel like, that didn't happen in the past. Spider-Man 2 was a good movie, but if y'all knew about like a lot of things that I'm about to mention in a second, but if y'all knew about a lot of things about him, they could honestly do a lot with his character. One being the example of the Superior Spider-Man. Now, if y'all don't know who the Superior Spider-Man is, y'all might want to go look him up, but I'm gonna give y'all just like a little brief summary of who he is. He's basically Dr. Octopus in Peter's body. That's it. That summary was just small, short, kept it cool. But I'm gonna get back to my theory. Now, my theory is that they could honestly give this man 3 movies, and I feel like they could do really good with him if they go the right way about him. Now, they don't have to just give him 1 movie and leave him alone, because the character is too great for all that. Alright, so they could honestly have the first movie being Peter being introduced to Dr. Octopus, and they cool or whatever, because before he became the villain Dr. Octopus, him and Peter was his student, and he was Peter's mentor. Now, I honestly think that they could introduce him and have Peter defeat him at the end of the first movie. Let's say that happens. And then the second movie comes around, he's been planning to take Peter's body. Now this is where the Superior Spider-Man could come in, because they could introduce the Superior Spider-Man, and you know, he could be like stopping crime in Peter's body, because that's what he did in the comics. Now that could happen in the second movie, but let's say Peter loses at the end of the second movie and gets his body taken. I think that would be a really cool thing, because it'll be really cool for the fans too, because then the fans will like really be invested to see the third movie that will feature Dr. Octopus. Like, you know, people, because we all know that they're obviously not gonna leave it off as Peter just getting his body taken like that. Hell no. They're gonna have him get his body back, which will probably be in the third movie. That's why I said they could give this man really good 3 movies. Now, the third movie could be about Peter just getting his body back. Like I said, in the second movie, they will leave us off on a cliffhanger. At the end, let's say he takes Peter's body and he turns around, and then we see that it's actually not Peter, it's actually Dr. Octopus inside his body. Now, they could honestly leave it off like that, leave the second movie off that, cut off the screen, roll the credits, and you know, I think that would be a really cool ass ending. But the third movie could lead into Peter trying to get his body back. Now, I don't know how they necessarily could, like, you know, how they're necessarily gonna go about doing this, but they're honestly bringing some of the Avengers, not all of them, but just like a few of the other heroes to help Peter out and get his body back. And that could be like, you know, what the third movie could be about. Let's say like for a good half of the movie, Dr. Octopus is just roaming New York and stopping crime in Peter's body and all this and that. The other heroes hear wind of this, and they don't like how Spider-Man is handling things, and they come to stop him, but only to realize that that's actually not the Peter that they know. It's actually, you know, Dr. Octopus, or that's somebody else inside Peter's body. And then they help him get his body back, and that's how that movie concludes. Now, that was just my second theory on what they could do and how they could introduce Dr. Octopus. Like I said, it doesn't have necessarily anything to do with the multiverse. Now, my third theory is that they could introduce the Clone Saga. Now, I think I've probably seen a few people talk about this, but I don't really know if they, like, I don't know if people have actually talked about this or not. But I think I've probably seen a few. But the Clone Saga is something that they could really do well with in the MCU, since there's a whole multiverse thing. They can introduce other Spider-Men from different universes, such as Ben Reilly and Kane, and I forget the other ones are actually Peter Parker, but you have this rich Peter Parker that's married to Gwen Stacy, and then you have, like, you know, other versions. Now, I don't know if they're necessarily going to do this now. Like I said, they're probably going to have to let his character grow, but I don't know if they could do this now because he's still a sophomore in high school. When he got snapped by Thanos' snap, he didn't grow, he didn't age or nothing. Everybody that he went to school with, they moved on to another grade and everything, except for like his closest friends. Now, I think that they could really do a lot with the Clone Wars thing, like I said, but this will probably have to be something that's saved for like a later time when Peter grows as, like, you know, as Spider-Man, like into his own hero and everything. I think that'd be a really cool thing to introduce and a really cool thing to see different Spider-Men working together to defeat like whatever villain it is. The villain, I got this whole idea from the 90s cartoon, the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. The 90s Spider-Man cartoon, Madam Web, which we haven't seen at all, or we probably haven't seen yet. We don't know if we're gonna see her at all. But if y'all don't know who Madam Web is, shit, I really don't even know who Madam Web is. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But essentially, she's like this very old woman that like helps Peter out in like his adventures. And when he like can't figure out something, he usually goes to Madam Web to see like if, you know, she can help him out. Now, I was thinking that they could go like a really different direction with this. Like I said, they could introduce different Spider-Man. It really doesn't necessarily matter. They could go the video game Shattered Dimensions direction and have the Noir Spider-Man, the 2099 Spider-Man, and the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man all introduced to, you know, our primary Tom Holland Amazing Spider-Man. You know, they could do that, or they could go the 90s cartoon way, like I was telling y'all. Well, the 90s cartoon, Carnage took Peter's body and he essentially became the villain, and Madam Web had to gather up different Spider-Mans from different multiverses to help out our original Spider-Man, the primary one, to defeat Carnage. Now, that's, like I said, that's my third theory. That's one way that they could go about it. I don't know how they will go about it, to be honest. There's honestly a lot that they could do. I'm gonna give a little quick overview of the theories if y'all probably forgot, but the first one being Miles get introduced, the second one being Dr. Octopus get introduced. Like I said, this has nothing to do with the multiverse at all. They can honestly do this now if they wanted to without the multiverse. But the second one being Dr. Octopus gets introduced and he gets 3 good movies to himself, and the third one being they introduce the Clone Saga. Now, those are my 3 theories on what they could do with Spider-Man, what the, like, you know, the directors could, the direction that they could take with this character and the potential that they have with this character and the whole multiverse theory. Because since they set the multiverse theory, they have so much opportunity and potential to introduce like other heroes and different Spider-Man, and like, you know, in general, like other heroes, like, you know, people we haven't seen yet, people that other, like, you know, fans might want to see. So I personally feel like, you know, this would be a pretty cool thing for them. I'm glad that they introduced the multiverse. Now they have endless possibilities, pretty much, because it's the multiverse. Like, they have hella universes to write off of. But that's pretty much my whole theory on it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I think I'm gonna end it off right here. Like I said, this was mainly about Spider-Man. Now, if y'all know some things about some other heroes that they could potentially do to throw in there with the multiverse theory and everything, then say it in the comment section below, because I'll be glad to read it, and I will respond to y'all to what y'all think like might happen or might go on. But yeah, that's it for this video. Like I told y'all, my school semester is over with. I'm about to really start uploading a lot for y'all. I might actually, you know, bring Shinobi Strikers back to the channel, because I'm about to start playing that because there's an event up, and I might actually just stream that for y'all. But oh yeah, another thing I'm streaming, another game I'm streaming is Borderlands 2. Be on the lookout for that, because I just beat, over the course of time, I beat the first one, and the first one, the collector's edition that came out for the PlayStation 4, and I beat the pre-sequel. Now I just gotta play Borderlands 2, and my homies was suggesting to me that I should just stream it, so I'm gonna stream it for y'all, and y'all be on the lookout for that, because I love to talk to y'all and, you know, hang with y'all while I'm playing that. But yeah, I'll probably have like a Jump Force video or something ready for y'all. I don't know, I'll probably find something to get to y'all, or whatever y'all would like to see, let me know. But yeah, I am out this bitch. I will catch y'all later.